That's right, guys. Nissan on the ground. You saw it the last vlog. It's a big deal. Yeah, there she goes. Oh, I just thought, dude, I think it's been 2 days and I've just been standing here staring at it because it just looks so cool. But the real question is, what's next? That's what everyone's wondering, because I mean, from afar, it kind of looks like it's getting pretty close to being done. Well, the joke's on us. We still have a crap ton to do.
Absolutely true. That is
so much to do.
That is facts.
It is ridiculous how much we still have to do. So today we're going to continue on. So right now, our goal is to get the full drivetrain fully hooked up and, of course, finish all the metal work in the chassis. What we have to do next is actually cut more holes in it and not actually add some more metal. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we have a couple of major holes. You look underneath the trunk, there's a pretty obvious one. The transmission tunnel, there's another pretty obvious one.
I think that's good. Get some flex tape.
Huh?
So today, the big issue is
we need to connect the two.
Yeah, we need to get this to the diff, but the major issue, there's some metal in the way.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got to cut it.
More cutting. Luckily, however, the drive shaft will clear underneath the rear seat pan here.
So before we can even cut this whole thing out, we're kind of running out of structure here because we just have a big hole everywhere. So we got to reinforce all this.
There's like a factory kind of cross member that connects these two sides here, and it's clearly not high enough for our purposes. So we're gonna have to remove that, add our own that's much taller and allows the drive shaft to clear, and then we'll get rid of the rest of this tunnel and start adding metal back in for this thing finally.
You know, it's a lot easier when we didn't have heat in the shop. You're a chef, right? What's the saying? Clean as you cook, right? You know, there's no turning back now.
Yeah, okay, that was like 2 months ago.
There's 2 layers here, so.
Yes. Yeah, rip it off. Oh, yeah. Wow.
There we go. That was holding half our floor pan together, so.
We have the trans brace now, though.
That's
so
true.
Don't forget, we added this structure before we took away this structure. I didn't hear any creaks or cracks, did you?
Mm-mm.
All right, we're good.
Oh, dude, you know what? Actually, while we are talking about structure here, this was a major comment in the last video, was the top hat situation. So, as you guys remember, we utilize our camera plate into our strut tower. Right here. And a lot of guys are worried about these little Allen keys. They're like, how are those 4 little Allen keys supposed to support your whole car?
What do you think was supporting it before that? Like, wait, that's what's supporting it on the stock stuff.
See, we just took out the middleman here. That's all we did. All right, so we got this big asshole here. So now we got to connect it in a manner that is nice and strong.
Yeah, that's right. And now that we've exposed it, you can see our various layers.
So we have a seat frame.
We're gonna stick our fresh piece of metal.
Big old piece.
And we're gonna basically bend in or weld in a big U shape, do a couple plug welds, stitch weld on inside and outside.
Once we get that piece in, we could build off of that.
Yeah, sheet metal it up.
So it looks like our new tunnel is going to have to go all the way up to about here. Looks ridiculous compared to the existing tunnel, but it makes sense.
I mean, the rest of the tunnel doesn't have to go that high. We can drop it down for the back half. You know, this is just to clear the shifter and have it be kind of natural, and obviously to clear the drive shaft.
What we got? What do we need? 8.5, I'll call it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh!
He's born for this.
All right. We gave him a little pre-bend here, as you can see.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. Got it.
Some thick stuff, man. Yeah, Jimmy had to sweat some blood.
Yeah, it happened. Look at your finger. Give me that hammer.
All right, moment of truth.
Man. All right, so we got this little bend right here to account for the bend in the bottom part of the rail here. So now we have to make one more bend to count for basically going straight up right here. Because if you look, we kind of have this pulled out. It's gonna come up and just go straight up. So basically something just like that. So we gotta pull this thing all the way over to here.
Check it out, Jimmy just freaking went crazy with the hammer and the vise and bent these two thick ass pieces of metal and got them dumb square.
I'm not proud of how it happened, but it happened and it worked. Okay. That's it. That's our trans tunnel. Let's go home.
Let's go home.
All right, remember how I said that we were done with all the fine measurements? Well, maybe we have one more left. Since our trans tunnel is basically going to be based off of this, front to back, we have to make sure this is pretty dead center. All right, so our pieces are in there, and look at, they look so straight. They measure out straight, but when something looks straight, that's a whole different thing. We've learned that pretty quickly, but it's crazy. It's taken so long just to get to here, and you would think just welding 2 plates in would take 2 seconds, but no, that's not how it goes. So,
I mean, we're trying to do it right. We're sandwiching, there's a 5th layer now that we're sandwiching in there.
If you guys notice, we've been using this whole like sandwich technique a lot throughout the build, and honestly, it's a unibody. That's how the whole car is put together. We didn't write the rules. We're just playing by them.
That's a good way to put it, huh?
Now we got to make our top pedestal, and Brian had a great idea where he thinks we should basically cut angle in the top here, basically because this is all going to be pretty tall because of the trans, but after this is all drive shaft, so we could actually put the step in this to go down a little bit for the drive shaft. Did I do it right? Yeah, but we'd rather have a whole video just making a you.
Listen, people will watch anything we make, all right?
We love you guys. That's a nice angle. Yeah.
Sit on it.
Check her out. Yeah, does this fit? Oh yeah, I measured that correctly. There we go. Film the tack welds, you know. Okay. That ain't going nowhere.
Not bad, kid. This may look like just a small little thing we got going on here, but this really lays out the structure for the rest of what's going on the inside.
Yeah, no, this is a huge step. I'm real pumped. So now we could basically follow this line right here Brian made, and we're gonna trim all the way back to the back seats, and then obviously we got to pull this out and cut this up, and we'll have enough room for the drive shaft. So let's unbolt this big ass brace. Hope the car doesn't fall apart, and cut this, and cut this whole thing up, and then I can measure out for a drive shaft, which is huge. $17 bolts. Freaking 17 bolts. I'll hold this whole thing in there. What do we got there?
Oh, it's a family photo!
No way! Oh, it's a nice family. Man, that dude's got a lot of daughters.
They look like they're from Utah.
Well, this was in Orlando.
Orlando. This car came from Florida, boys.
It's a Florida car.
Woo!
Wow. In Connecticut, that's like what everyone writes on their Craigslist ad. Florida car.
Which is probably the reason, when you think about it, why this is one of the very few rust-free Civics in the Northeast.
Minimal rust. It's got rust. Maybe you do the honors.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything important under here.
Yeah.
I can reach the diff.
Can you? It's kind of far away.
Yeah, I touched it. All right. God.
Your little arms.
I don't. You know what? I got nothing to say to you.
So we have to. You see it? You see right here?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So it's pretty high up. So it looks like we're gonna have to cut almost, probably all the way up here. But that's no biggie.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out. I've only got. So from diff face to the tail ass of the trans.
51 and a half.
51 and a half inches.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. There you go. I'm gonna get my Driveshaft made.
We can connect this and that. That's like a whole different thing. It's just one piece of the puzzle, but like if that was attached right now,
we could say we have a complete drivetrain.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Well,
time to buy a sheet metal brake.
The good news is now, yeah, right. The good news is I think that's all the holes. That's everything. It's everything we had to cut out of this car is cut out. Now we just gotta add stuff back.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it.
That's a good feeling, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That thing is strong.
There she goes, boys.
And it's only half welded. We only welded it inside the cabin, not underneath the car yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny because like it looks dinky and weak, but it is so freaking strong. We're good to go.
Yeah, and there's still 12 welds plus 2 3-inch long stitch welds. So this thing ain't moving anyway.
Alright, well, we got our little brace. That was our project for the day. We made it happen. Sorry we couldn't get a little bit more done, but this was huge. So ready to pull this thing back apart again?
Yeah.
It's upsetting because I love seeing it like looking. It looks complete, but it's far from it. So get this thing back in the lift. We gotta take it all back apart, refresh everything, make a trans tunnel, get the drive shaft made, make a 4-pan, put it all back together. Somewhere in between there, add a bunch of paint and sealer and all that stuff. And I mean, at that aspect, we're like 70% done. Eh? With the chassis. So no, dude, no. So now that we have a lot of this stuff together, I'm gonna start focusing on stuff in the engine bay, which really isn't much. Once we get the coolant stuff is done for the most part, I gotta get some intercooler piping made after I mic up the turbo, and then do the wiring, a few vacuum lines, and we're basically ready to go. The engine stuff is easy, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to bang out some of the sheet metal work on the inside, and hopefully it'll all come together at the end.
It'll be great. So with that, we're gonna end it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and have a good night.
I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why, hey, I know why, hey, yeah. I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why.